Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another breakdown. Today we are looking at Terrence Malick doing Tesla. Tesla car. Phew. Natural daylight. Laughing. Close up. Wide shots. People with tears. This is like a to the wonder for people like myself who would fall asleep after about 3 or 4 minutes. This one is only a minute long, so much less chance of falling asleep. But this is the perfect spec ad, right? We talked about a couple weeks ago. I think we did not the Johnny Cash. Who's the other guy? Bruce Springsteen. How that was a great spec ad. This, man, there were a couple of these going around a few years ago. You have actor, actress, for the day. Shoot. Go out at sunset, get a hotel room, do a little party in there, get really wide lens, really close up diopter stuff, make it big. We'll talk about that shot in a second. And then if you got the cash, you get a Russian arm and you go out and you shoot whatever the new car is, right? This could be for anything. This could be for, I don't know, Match.com or Uber Eats, right? Maybe they're just hungry. We can't get anything to eat. Why not? Why is the Chinese place closed? That's my favorite. What about Lebanese? No. Something spicy? I'll drive. You're going to pick it up? Yes. What year is it? And that's it, right? This is going to be, but this is like, yeah, spec heaven. So I imagine that if you want to do Terrence Malick stuff, get yourself an actor, an actress, and go out there, get a hotel room, and well, all of this stuff really. Yeah, there's frameworky stuff in here. Like everything is pretty much shooting towards the backlight. There are a few exceptions here, but really we'll talk about, let's see, you're gonna wanna mix in these close-up shots, right? It just doesn't work. If you're on the 12mm Master Prime, whatever it is you're on, this handheld stuff is good, but you gotta mix it in. You gotta do the mix in with the diopter shots, right? Like this walking, boom. Not really a diopter shot, but you get the idea. Really, the close-up stuff. We want to see tears. We want to see people confused. Maybe people fighting, right? Like angry couples, and then playful couples, and then bed sheets. People doing this one too, like on the edge of things. Yes, I'm looking. Let's dance. Okay, couples dance. And car. Yes, I love cars. Me too. Let's get a Tesla. What? Let's dance more. Sunset, fire, hair. Yes. Anyway, you get where this is going. So my point, the whole reason for the cinematography stuff behind this is, so there's not a whole lot of lighting going on here, but it still looks really good. Now, why is that? If you go out there and you try this, your stuff isn't gonna look nice. What are they doing different that you're not doing? Well, all you really have to do here is, besides finding unique, cool compositions, is balancing to what you can't control. Like, this would look terrible if we're gonna try and get normal exposure inside. That would mean these windows would blow out and it would look terrible. So we don't wanna do that. So just set for anything inside of the image, anything that is on the screen, as long as it's not clipping, well, we can shoot, right? Like that's what you're setting all of your levels to. And then everything else falls naturally. Why does this light look so natural? Because you've set it for the outside windows, and this is what it actually looks like inside, right? Not to your eye, because your eye has a lot more dynamic range, but to whatever camera it is that you're using. Same with this stuff here, right? Like, okay, yes, the car is naturally making this shapely because we cut off all this top light here, we cut off everything coming in here, we've got a little bit coming in the side window, and we've got all this stuff coming in the front, and that gives us our little sliver. So what are we really controlling for? Make sure that this sky doesn't clip. And then everything else naturally falls where it will, right? Okay, of course, you're gonna grade this thing and make it look nice. Let's see if we go full screen here though. Full screen me, please. Nope. Yes. Ta-da. Okay. This one also, like, woo. Okay. Black car, a little bit tricky, but no sun direction at all. Just overcast. Makes it really, really simple, right? Like, we just need the reflections in the car. We need all of this stuff in the car so that you can see the lines of the vehicle. That's what we want. We want more of that. This thing, what are we doing here in this whole scene, right? There's not a lot of lighting. There's not a lot of anything. It's a 12mm or like a 16mm. Maybe you can feel something coming from over here. Like maybe we have a little bounce in this little area over here. but there's not much, right? Because it drops off. By the time it gets to this guy, there's almost nothing. So it's either just hitting the ground and hitting her, but that seems a little bit hot for that. Seems like there's somebody over there, like the director who's watching on the wireless monitor is wearing a white t-shirt or something. But really, we're just balancing to that. And then we're going to use this bridge to hide the actual sun. I think you see that in the earlier stuff, is it? Let's see. Okay, this is a good example. Like this driving shot, to me, it doesn't look as nice as this later stuff. Where's the later stuff? Why is the computer going so slow? Oh, we'll get there. You'll see. Car, swing around. Yep. Laugh. This is fun. Autofocus. To the wonder. Ooh. Ta-da. You put Brad Pitt in here, like shadowboxing with some kid. You got yourself a movie. And where is the old car stuff here? Come on. Come on. Slow motion's good too, like 50 frames. Give it 50 frames. This one? Okay. Again, there's still, all of these elements of the framework are still in there. They're just, you choose what parts you add and what parts you don't add. So the more that you add, the more polished it's going to feel. This feels really raw. This feels like it looks in real life, right? We're not trying to make this thing super pretty, like we're getting, just blast the front light. But where is that car stuff? Okay, so this is the framework, but without any lights, right? We have our practical, L of the room. We're using our shears. This is not clipping. The light is wrapping around. Maybe we have like a floppy over here to cut off all this stuff, but this shape just comes from naturally being in this room, shooting along the windows. His face looking parallel to the wall with the windows, right? And all we're doing is setting for the level out there. Boom, that's the shot I was talking about. This, to me, to my eye, is more interesting with all of the darkness, the line going on here, this little bit here, this little backlight edge that just creates some depth, having this thing in the foreground, this light, really the light on his face, and then the transition to darkness is much more appealing than, where's the first shot? Come on. This, significantly flatter, right? You should instantly be able to see the difference. And that's that little point where we're using the sun to block this thing, right? So we don't have a giant clipping sky. We're using all that sun, gives us that nice little highlight in the background too. And then holy softness on the lens. You need this, you need hands brushing things. Don't forget that, right? If you're gonna do something Terrence Malick-y, get the hands brushing things. Magic, tears. Okay, so this is the exterior shot that we always talk about, where you can sun wrap. And the way that you would sun wrap is this coming in here. This is what it looks like without any fill. This is what it actually looks like when you start lighting. If you're going to try for a slightly more polished look than this, something more massaged. This is real. This is raw. Have the little sun over here. That's giving us this little link back here. Now, if we wanted to sandwich it, you'd put the poly over here, right? Your little 4x poly. And then you would get hot edge this way, hot edge this way. We don't want to do that. We want to wrap it around, slightly more natural. So we'd poly this side. And then we would neg this side, right? So you get shadow all in here, a little bit of light over here, and then you leave this side dark, and that's your sun wrap, okay? But really all we're doing here is to get the level on her. You don't even need her in the frame if you're setting this up. You just expose for the sky, and then her face will naturally look like that, right? So get good at exposing for the sky. As soon as you get good at that, especially if you're outside, you get good at exposing for everything. And then we're out, I think. Ta-da! That's it. Car shot. Pow. So, really good spec ad. There's actually somebody that we talked about on the podcast not too long ago. I forget the cinematographer's name. Pat something. Aldinger? Anyway, he has a really cool setup on the camera because really here, it's about that super wide lens and it's about being able to free flow and find frames and let the talent just move around. To be able to do that, you got to be flexible with the camera. And he's got a setup where he basically turns a mini LF or an Alexa into like a medium format size stills camera. And you are able to control it like that, much like if you look at the Chivo behind the scenes like Revenant stuff, where he was using the Alexa M, that same size build where you can really move, and because the lens is so wide, you don't really have to be that steady because your hands are steady enough, right? You're not shooting on like a 50 millimeter or something. So it takes a lot of the wobble out, like this shot. You know, like there's a little bit of wobble in there, but it's just a dude holding a camera or somebody holding a camera. So if you're interested in doing spec stuff, I would say get yourself an actor, get yourself a lady, make them appear to be going through some sort of relationship drama, right? There's people looking off into the distance. There's something with nature, like, right, if there was like a dinosaur egg and then, I don't know, people on a tidal wave or something, you got yourself a movie here. Okay, that's going to do it. Interesting take. Nice, beautiful, obviously, beautiful cinematography. And that's all I got. Go out there. Even if you're only going to use one thing of the framework, it should help you. At least when you look at the location, like, well, where are we going to shoot in here? Like, where do I want to be standing if we're going to shoot inside this hotel room? Well, you probably don't want to be doing, you notice how there's no shots of the hotel room facing in, right? We're only looking out. We're only looking towards the window. We're never looking this way. Why is that? Because that makes this thing backlit. And it makes it halfway decent. So even in here, right? Even in here, with this little tiny, where are you? Come back here. Come back, yeah. This little edge that is happening over here, right? The hotel window over there, hands this way. But we just have slightly less control is what it feels like. There's less control, which leads to more natural feeling images, but something that is different than like your Hollywood slick. So that's our look at this commercial. Go out there and shoot a spec yourself, or don't. And we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.